اللهم تقبل منا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار.
Guys, right now they're looking at us, they're standing, they don't want to see nobody crying. They don't want to see nobody crying, they want to see everybody making dua for them. So for the sake of Allah, instead of everybody crying more, I just want you guys to make dua for my sisters.
Their family touts that the two sisters were honor students. Zainab attended Advanced Math and Science High and wanted to be a doctor. Aisha went to Success Academy and wanted to become a pharmacy tech.
Nobody could ever replace the same bond that I had with them.
Aisha and Zainab, for sure, you're always going to be in our hearts, in our blood. For sure, we're going to meet together in paradise.
Mourners gathered in the Bronx today for a funeral service for two sisters who drowned at Coney Island Beach. Community members today show their support for the grieving family of 17-year-old Zainab and 18-year-old Aisha Mohammed.
18-year-old Aisha Mohammed was a sweet, talented, and ambitious young girl who had a passion for doing hair. Her family jokingly coined her the family hairstylist. She was excited about starting her new job at Panera Bread, and most importantly, she was an older sister to 17-year-old Zainab Mohammed, who worked in childcare. The Mohammeds are originally from Ghana, though the girls' parents have been in the city for decades, and the teenagers were born in the United States. Coming from a Muslim family, both sisters were heavily involved within the religion, volunteering at a local mosque and staying active within their community. They were loved and respected by so many. Like most people, the sisters were looking forward to enjoying the holiday weekend and spending time with family and friends. Everyone agreed on spending the day at Coney Island Beach for a day full of swimming, laughter, and great memories. It was only the sisters' second time visiting the popular tourist attraction, so they were super excited. No one could ever have imagined that what would start as a day of fun and sunshine would quickly turn dark and tragic. Just after 9 p.m. on July 5th, the bodies of two teenage girls who were initially reported missing by an unknown caller were found on the shoreline off of Coney Island. It wouldn't be long before the heartbreaking details were revealed.
There are about a half a dozen NYPD harbor unit boats in the water with divers coming in and out and cops frantically running up and down the shoreline with flashlights in hand. But as you can see now, that search has been scaled down quite a bit. Nearly impossible now to see anything out here in the dark. And just as we came on the air, it started raining again, so the conditions have worsened once again. There is just again one boat still out there and an NYPD drone from the aviation unit up above shining a spotlight down onto the ocean.
The victims were identified as 18-year-old Aisha Mohammed and her 17-year-old sister, Zainab Mohammed, who were both rushed to Coney Island Hospital, where they would sadly pass away. According to investigators, the two sisters were reported missing after a caller indicated that the pair entered the water and disappeared from view. The man claimed that he tried to stop the girls from going into the water, but he himself couldn't swim.
He saw the two little girls tried to ask him for help. So he just tried to help, but he went to the water.
He can't swim either.
No, he can't swim. So a lot of people tried to help, and then nobody can do anything. Even the cops, they waited maybe 20 minutes for help and everything.
Because it was too rough, the water.
Yeah, the water was not.
It would only be an hour later before their bodies were washed ashore. Aisha and Zainab were hanging out with a group of about 12 other people, enjoying a sunny day at the popular beach, when the skies suddenly opened up in a heavy downpour. Unbeknownst to the group, the sisters decided that they would jump into the water for their last swim before heading back to the Bronx. They just wanted to have a little bit more fun, or so they thought. Remember, it was only their second time going to the beach, so it was a big deal for them. As all of the beachgoers quickly left the beach to avoid the storm, the two sisters headed towards the water.
If people are not good swimmers, they should not go swimming, especially if there's no lifeguard on duty.
In fact, people were swimming as early as 8:30 this morning, despite no lifeguards and a rip current warning.
People go in all the time when there's no lifeguards here, and you get what you ask for.
These drownings come as lifeguard shortages continue across the city. The city's Parks Department tells News 12 they currently have 750 lifeguards on staff, with more being.
A close cousin recalls that Aisha saw her younger sister Zainab struggling in the ocean and went in to help, suggesting that Zainab possibly jumped into the water before Aisha. One of their male cousins and his brother jumped into the water to help, but was unable to save the sisters. The current was just too strong. Their brother stated that he didn't know who to help first. He reached for the sister who was closest to him, and she started panicking, dragging him down further into the water with her. By the time he reached back to the surface, the two sisters were nowhere to be found. Aisha and Zainab's family were left grief-stricken, their mother unable to formulate any words. It all happened so fast. And to top it all off, the very next day after the drownings, a 14 and 16-year-old boy were rescued at that same beach after jumping into the water after hours.
A pair of teenagers rescued in Coney Island less than 24 hours after two sisters drowned at the same beach. An NYPD chopper circled above as two teenagers were pulled from the water near West 22nd. Police telling us the 14 and 16-year-olds went in after the lifeguards went off duty.
Try to watch out for the rip currents because they will push you back very hard. And it's hard to get through it.
They say it's boring when you're sitting in a boardwalk, but it's more safe than me sitting here, then you go over there, and then the last time I might see them.
The two sisters that were pulled from the water on Friday night also went in after the lifeguards finished for the day. Police say while the 14-year-old boy declined medical attention, the 16-year-old was taken to Coney Island Hospital in stable condition.
According to the city's Department of Parks, lifeguards at the beach are on duty between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Swimming is not allowed outside of those hours. The sisters' deaths brought the total number of drownings so far this summer in the city to 4. On June 21st, 2 teenage boys were swept away off Jacob Riis Park in Rockaway, Queens, and were later found dead. Outside their grandmother's home in the Bronx, around a dozen family members and friends gathered outside of the building, many bringing food and drinks. A memorial service was held for the sisters at a Bronx mosque where hundreds of family, friends, community members, and even Mayor Eric Adams were in attendance. He would take to Facebook to post the following: "My heart goes out to Aisha and Zainab Mohammed's family and friends, and the entire African Muslim community. It is devastating that we lost 2 beautiful girls who had their futures ahead of them, but nature is stronger than all of us. May God bless their family and give them healing and comfort at this difficult time."
The Mohammed sisters were close in age, 17-year-old Zainab on the left and 18-year-old Aisha on the right. Selfless is the first word that comes to mind when Dad, Mohammed Ahmed, describes them.
Yeah, my daughters are the best daughters I can say in the world.
He still refers to them in the present tense because he says they're always with him.
They was yelling for help. We was trying to save them.
Everything happened fast.
Their older sister Miriam and cousin Adam Mohammed were part of the group of 12 family and friends at the beach. Lifeguards were off duty at 6 p.m. and police say calls came in around 8. The girls were in the water with their cousin Sharif, Adam Mohammed's little brother, who ended up being saved.
It wasn't deep. They were out where they could stand. Before anybody could even think, the waves started getting heavier, wind started blowing. The rain started coming in, and they started getting dragged out.
Earlier reports indicated that the teens made it out of the water, but then went back in.
Saying they went out, and they came back in the water. That's a lie. They never got a chance to get out the water.
The Mount Hope community is left devastated after the fatal drowning of 2 teenage sisters.
We couldn't take it. The grandmother, the children, myself, we couldn't stand.
Hundreds of people lined this street in front of Young Qasim Masjid Mosque, choking back tears and praying as they said their final goodbyes to Aisha and Zainab Mohammed.
You could see the pain in their eyes as the caskets went by. Elected officials and the community united in prayer as they remember the lives lost.
It is our responsibility as we feel this pain to turn it into purpose and remind ourselves constantly that God is great.
The 17 and 18-year-old sisters were youth leaders at the mosque. Loved ones tell me they were active in the community and were always smiling. One youth leader remembers their last interaction.
The last time I saw her was here. So just coming back the next time to see that she's being lowered down the grave is very devastating.
Their other sister, Miriam, was overcome with emotion. Many who knew them say the three sisters were inseparable. Despite this tragedy, the surviving sister urged the community to turn away from their sadness and turn to their faith.
They don't want to see nobody crying. They want to see everybody making dua for them. So for the sake of Allah, instead of everybody crying more, I just want you guys to make dua for my sisters.
And in these dark times, community members say they will continue to stand strong to support the Mohammed family.
With the support that we have and the love from the community, we're gonna go through this together, inshallah.
As mentioned earlier, drownings such as these have become an all too normal occurrence at Coney Island Beach. We can only hope that individuals use these many stories of the victims to take precautions going forward so that no other families have to feel this pain. Rest in peace to Zainab and Aisha Mohammed.